Is your art business making money and profits at art shows? Of course, you're going to these art shows and selling things. Otherwise, you wouldn't go back if you didn't have that dopamine hit of making an art sale. But when you come home, did you add up the time you spent marketing yourself at that art show, setting up your tent and your table, getting all of your products ready, all the money you spent buying things for your setup at the art show? Then, did you add up what you sold and the cost of what it took you to get your butt out to that art show? It's really important in our art businesses that we're adding up to see what our profits are. The formula for profits are revenue minus expenses. So what's left over is our profits. And we have to add that up every month to see what our business is making. Quick pause. Ooh, Lola just hit the mic. Lola's my Frenchie. If you're not watching on YouTube, we want to know what you're thinking as things come up on the podcast. This episode I know is going to drum up some questions. So leave me a podcast voicemail. Go to jennawebart.com/podcast. Give me a thought or question, and I would love to do a Q&A episode. Now back to the show. Then when we make profit in our art business, what are we spending it on? A lot of artists I talk to go and spend it on more art supplies. But in order to grow your business, it's important to invest in things that will grow your business. Learning how to market yourself, learning the business plan that will work. Spending it on more art supplies and creating more art that you don't know how to sell yet is not going to help you. And I think it's really important, especially when you're a new artist, to say yes to as many opportunities as possible and get exposure. But we can't go down a rabbit hole repeating things if they aren't bringing us significant profits in our business. That's why my students come to me to learn my signature Artpreneur Academy roadmap so they can start making a full-time living as an artist. In my Artpreneur Academy program, I have a VIP membership where students come to me once a month with the biggest challenge on their heart and their minds of whatever they're not able to move forward with on their business. And then on camera, I live coach them through their challenges. I'm going to share just a snippet of one of these conversations that I'm having on a VIP call with a student named Jeffy. Jeffy is probably a lot like you because she's a lot like most of the artists who come to me before Artpreneur Academy, who are spinning their wheels and hustling, going to all the art shows or submitting their artwork to galleries, and they're getting into the galleries, but all their profits are being eaten by the commission the galleries are taking. Or they're going to the art shows, but all the profits are really being eaten up by the time you're spending and the money you're spending. It's really interesting. You'll hear what Jeffy has done with the profits she did make at the art show. So I think this will be a really helpful conversation for you to hear. Empowered Artist Podcast listeners, I love you so much. How would you like to listen to this podcast with a fresh new pair of Beats headphones or have $50 Amazon cash to spend on whatever you want? To enter to win these prizes, follow the show, then scroll past the episodes and hit the 5-star rating and write a review. I will be announcing winners when we hit milestones like 55 reviews, 75 reviews. I'm sure we can blow past 100 reviews. I'm going to be sending out screenshots of the winning reviews in my email newsletter. Sign up for my email newsletter at jennawebart.com/podcasts. It's linked in the show notes. I'm so excited. Pause the show right now, follow, and write a 5-star review. I can't wait to see it. I hope you win one of the hot podcast summer prizes. Hey, welcome to the June VIP meeting. That's Lola snoring. I have a couple bulldogs down here.
I mentioned that I made $1,000 in a day, but last year, my art group didn't do anything for a year because of COVID. Weren't out there. But the year before that, I was excited and sold $1,000. But then I put all my expenses together and I was 100 or 200 in the hole. And as soon as, because of everything that I had bought. So I really hadn't made anything, but I was a hobby, I guess, and paid for my art supplies. And the first thing I did after being so excited, I went to Michael's and bought $500 more odds. So I'm still back in the hole again.
Well, good on you to look at that as expenses and you're looking at it as profits. So you've got a leg up because a lot of people aren't even really viewing it that way. And that's okay. You joined Artpreneur Academy for a reason.
Yeah.
You're
Yeah.
about in module 2, you're gonna start lots of spreadsheet work and looking at your expenses. And so it's gonna
Dig
be
into
great.
that. Huh?
Yeah, you are.
Yeah. Yeah. I look at some of the stuff that I sell. I think, well, that's like 2 or 3 days' wages for somebody. But then I look at the other way. So it's a good mindset to change. And
Absolutely. I'm excited
yeah.
for you. I'm excited for you. And I'm so excited for people who are relying on just going to art shows when they bring their business online because it's so much more time efficient. And so when you're new as an artist, saying yes to just opportunities is a great thing. But you really, to sustain, you have to have an online business as well. I remember when Kristen Horde joined Artpreneur Academy, she had been going to art shows for over 20 years. And so the Artpreneur Academy brought her business online for the first time. And so that was really exciting. And I love that. I have my own reasons for not doing art shows for my health, but I've done them. I've done them. But at the end of the day, I would look at the time I spent, the money I spent, how much I'd have to market myself. I'd sell things and it would be fun and I'd meet people. Energetically, I'd be spent. And then I'd go home
Mhm.
and then I'd add everything up and look at the profits. And I was like, wow, uh, doing this online on repeat and learning how to make money in my sleep is going to be a lot better for me.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm getting older. I'm thinking if I don't do it now, it ain't going to happen. So if it was back in my head, like 5 years ago, I got a domain name and I thought I'm going to do something in 5 years. Here I am.
It's
So I
never,
better
it's
never too late.
never too late.
Yeah.
Nope. So, just like in that call, I've got my dogs here today and they're just licking each other. I decided I'm going to let them join us. Wasn't that conversation with Jeffy super interesting? I'm sure that you've been there too. And it's still great to go to the art shows if they're making profit, if you're finding joy. So, I would evaluate what is your motivation for going to the art shows? What is your motivation for having your art in a gallery? And then my other challenge for you today is to put your expenses and your revenue into a spreadsheet and see what kind of profit you're making at the end of the day. If you want to change that and grow your profits and your revenue, I definitely think you should check out Artpreneur Academy. I love helping my students. I have a proven roadmap to get you there. You can check that out at jennawebart.com/Artpreneur Academy. It is linked in the show notes. One thought I want to leave you with today is to evaluate where you're spending your time. It's just as important as where you're spending your money. The things you're saying yes to are taking away from other things you can be saying yes to. Just remember, there's always an opportunity cost. If you take a minute to sit down and think about where you want your business to go, where do you want it to be in a year from now or 3 years from now, and just take some time to plan that and invest in where you want it to go, that time and planning is invaluable. It's up to us to take control of our life and own our destiny. I have always believed if there is a will, there is a way. Instead of just going with the flow, it's really important to take that minute, not even that minute, really be intentional about where you're going, and you'll thank yourself later. Hi, friend. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you never miss an episode. I like to throw in some surprises for our weekly show. You can also follow the Empowered Artist Podcast on Apple Podcasts. And for more resources to move your art business forward, visit jennawebart.com.